My brothers and sisters, what is going on? Still sermon in the house. Thursday morning with another video. And as I always say, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter. Links are posted in the box down below. Week 13 is here as the Pittsburgh Steelers are coming off a win, winning 2 out of their last 3. And although the record still isn't great, when you're a rebuilding team like this, you got to take any sort of positivity. And I know that, like I said, the win against Indianapolis Monday, it wasn't the best win ever. No denying that. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. But still, it's a win. So you got to take that and build off of it if you can. Heading on down to Atlanta to play the Atlanta Falcons, who stand at 5-7, and believe it or not, have a chance to win the NFC South, because that NFC South is absolutely atrocious this year. The Tampa Bay Bucks are 5-6, and they currently lead that division. So, getting in on this preview, it's kind of two teams that are very similar because of where they stand right now, the state of their current franchises. They're both rebuilding. They're both looking for another quarterback, although we may have found ours. Atlanta, they're using a placeholder for theirs until they get their next franchise quarterback in the draft. But at the same time, these two teams are kind of headed in different directions currently. And what I mean by that is, well, like I said, we've won 2 out of our last 3. Atlanta's been incredibly competitive this year, no denying that. I sat down here, well, not here particularly, but you get what I mean. I sat down before the season began, and I said the Atlanta Falcons are going to have the worst record in the NFL this year. Why? Because Matt Ryan ain't there no more. They don't have Julio Jones anymore. They have no pass defense. Their run defense is inconsistent. They don't really have a good offensive line. They don't have anyone that can really tackle on that defense and can cover. And they don't have any solid receivers. The only thing that they have to look forward to is Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. And I said Atlanta was going to finish with the worst record in the league. They have almost tripled the amount of wins that I gave them at the beginning of the season. They have 5 wins right now. I said they were only going to win 2 games the whole year. Now, granted, 5-7 is still a bad record any way you look at it, but the fact they're 5-7, the fact that they've been incredibly competitive this year, the fact that they're a tough team, the fact that they've only had a couple losses this year where they really got buzzsawed to death, I think that says a lot about the Atlanta Falcons. They are a feisty bunch, and they'll give you 60 minutes of football. Unlike us. And I can't believe I'm sitting down here and saying that. I kind of wish the Pittsburgh Steelers were like the Atlanta Falcons a little bit. Not in the fact that, we're the franchise that blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, or, we've blown multiple playoff games where we had leads and this team can't hold on to a lead to save their lives. And, this is one of the most snake-bitten franchises of all time. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the fact about where they are right now. Instead of us rebuilding and just completely playing 30 minutes of football, I would like it if we were like Atlanta, where we go out there and we be competitive. We play tough. We don't just wait until we're trailing in the 4th quarter to play our best brand of football. Because looking at the players on this team, like I said, the run offense, if I will give us any sort of credit, the run offense has been progressing nicely. Kenny Pickett's legs has been a very big X factor, averaging 4.8 yards a carry during these past couple weeks. And Kenny Pickett really is starting to be able to make split-second situations in an instant. So we're seeing, like I said, we're seeing Kenny Pickett's progression. But the thing with our run game, Najee Harris and Jalen Warren are both questionable. Jalen Warren, I don't know. I didn't hear about what kind of injury he had. All I know is that he's questionable. Najee, as we know, the abdominal injury he had against the Colts, both are questionable for this game. So you bring in Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland, who, to their credit, they did okay against Indianapolis. Nothing eye-popping, but nothing terrible either. They did okay. But the rest of this team, man, George Pickens, couple of drops. I like his progression, but those are just passes that he has to hold on to. It's a rookie mistake. I'm not going to get on to him a whole lot with it. Muth had a couple of big drops. And then the big one, Deontay Johnson. I mean, not only did he drop passes against Indianapolis, but I don't know what it is with this guy. Like, are you scared? Are you afraid to go up against a defensive player? Are you afraid to bust a move? Because he did it again. He's going up against a defensive player, and he goes backwards to avoid the hit. You're making us lose yards there, buddy. We're not paying you $18 million to not get tackled. We're paying you $18 million because we believe that you can take that next step and be a number one receiver on this team. But how are you going to do that when you're pussyfooting around against defensive players? Plain and simple, man. You don't want to go up against a defensive player? Then you may as well not catch the ball. And it seems like that's what you're trying to do, is not catch the ball, because you had a couple drop passes against Indy again. And I hate that I have to sit down here and rant about the offense a little bit. But how can I not? Play calling is dreadful. Dan Moore, an absolutely useless trash can on that offensive line. He's one of the worst offensive linemen I've ever seen. Period, point blank. And I think that guy has climbed the ladder of being my least favorite guy on the team. It used to be Terrell Edmunds, but at least Terrell Edmunds can make a good play here and there. Dan Moore, there is nothing good about him. Nothing but a freaking yellow flag is what Dan Moore is. But you look at our run offense here, it is progressing nicely. And Atlanta's rush defense doesn't really complement it a whole lot. They give up a little over 5 yards a carry. And especially with running quarterbacks, they haven't done very well with that. But hey, guess what? We haven't done very well with running quarterbacks either. Unless his name is Lamar Jackson for some reason. And this guy, Marcus Mariota, who's their starter, not exactly a household name, but he's the bench guy, he's the fill-in guy until Atlanta finds their next quarterback. I'm thinking that he can give this defense a real hard time, just knowing how this defense plays. Gashed by their former quarterback, Matt Ryan, who at age, 36, 37, however old he is, somewhere around there, ran for a big yard against this defensive line who's supposed to be able to stop the run. Now, if you can't stop Matt Ryan there, how are you going to be able to stop a guy like Cordell Patterson, who's had a massive resurgence this year with the Falcons, and they have every right to be high on this guy? This Tyler Allegieri guy is also someone they're very high on. Drake London, a real good draft pick for him. And I think that this defense, quite frankly, lucked out because Kyle Pitts is hurt and he's not going to play in this game. So if you can't stop their former quarterback and Matt Ryan to rush for a big chunk of yards when he has absolutely no business getting even 10 yards on a scramble, how are you going to stop this rush defense? Plain and simple. But here's where I think that this team can come in and win this game. and I will give it keys to victory for this week, because for as poorly of a second half that we had against Indianapolis, fact of the matter is we won. So here are my keys to victory. Take advantage of that pass defense that they have. If Kenny Pickett is to have his breakout game of his young career, I think this is the week to do it. Okay? This is a team on defense that doesn't cause turnovers. This is a team that can't cover well. They miss assignments. They don't tackle well. The only guy that I'm really concerned about on Atlanta's defense is A.J. Terrell, but even he's had a quiet season this year. Hawkins is okay, but then you got guys like Jarrett and Rashaan Evans who can be capable playmakers at times, but really there's no one worth noting about on this Atlanta pass defense. They have not defended the pass at all this year. So I think Kenny Pickett, if he's to have his breakout game, this is the week to do it. Matt Canada, pull your head from out of your behind, open up your damn playbook, and start incorporating this guy with throwing the ball down the field. Plain and simple. Am I expecting us to do that? No, not at all. Because it is the same freaking movie script with this offense week in and week out. We get off to a hot start, and then we take our foot off the gas pedal. Then we have a solid drive in the fourth quarter when we're either trailing or the game is out of reach. Monday was literally the second week in a row it happened, because it happened the week before against the Bengals as well. And if you really want to go back further, it will happen all the way back in week 1 against the Bengals. Week frickin' 1. But anyway, take advantage of their pass defense. Number 2, make Marcus Mariota beat you. This is Marcus Mariota's game to lose. He's the starting quarterback. Do not let a guy like Cordell Patterson have a big night. You need to be able to stuff that run by any means necessary. Do not let Cordell Patterson beat you. Make Marcus Mariota run. Make him play quarterback. Get him out of his comfort zone to where he's the bench guy and he's the bridge guy, and make him look like that he's still back up in Oregon playing college football. Make Marcus Mariota beat you. And finally, I think it goes without saying, kind of repeating what I said before, make Kenny Pickett win. This is Kenny Pickett's game to lose. I want to see Kenny Pickett throw the ball 25 to 30 times in this game. I don't want to see us be run dominated in this one. I want to see Kenny Pickett have 25 to 30 pass attempts in this one. And it would be nice for him to have a high yardage game and high octane game where the receivers are stepping up and making catches for once. I am telling you, wide receivers on this team, do not let your freaking quarterback down. This guy is going to be your quarterback for the future, depending if you stay here or not. This is your quarterback right now. Help him out. This is a guy who hasn't thrown an interception in a month. We are now in December, and he hasn't thrown an interception since October. Don't let him down. Help him out. Defense, stop being lazy. Plain and simple, stop being lazy. There's no one outside of Minkah Fitzpatrick on the secondary that I trust at all. No one on this front other than TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and maybe I would say Cam Hayward. Maybe Miles Jack, I don't know. But aside from those guys, there's not one player. Maybe Larry Ogunjobi too, okay? But other than that, there's not one other guy on this defense that I can 100% trust. Because after all, We keep saying, hey, Mark Robinson, this guy's flourishing at frickin' training camp. We're 13 weeks into the season and we still haven't seen him play. What is the holdup, Tomlin? What? You're in charge of the defense, are you not? You call the shots on the defense, do you not? Devin Bush, when's the last time we called his name? Aside from right now. This is why I get on his case, man. This is why I do it. We're 2 losses away from having our first losing season in 19 years and the first time that Tomlin will ever have a losing season. And we're still going out there and barely making any changes at all. But those are my keys to victory right there. Do I expect us to follow through with it? No. Do I think it's going to be an ugly game? Yes. But Pittsburgh Steelers, man, you need to stack up on some of these dubs. You got 6 games left. And out of these 6 games, I'd say half of them are winnable. You got these guys. You still got Carolina. You still got Vegas. You still got Baltimore twice. And then you still got to play the Browns again. Half of that schedule, in my opinion, is winnable. Maybe 4 out of 6. I don't know. But half of this schedule is winnable. Get a win streak going and start it Sunday. Make some freaking changes for once. Enough with the SOS, the same old Steelers, as the Chief used to say. And get this win. I don't care if you win by 3. I don't care if you win by 300. Win the game. And stop being so predictable. And assert yourselves back in the division. Because the division this week has a lot of grounds for losing. The Bengals play Kansas City. The Ravens, they usually fall for a trap game every now and then. I expect them to beat Denver, but hey, they choked to Jacksonville. They can probably choke to Denver too. And the Cleveland Browns, I'm telling you, they play the Houston Texans, which sounds like an easy game, but honestly, that might not be so much of an easy game for Cleveland. The AFC North this week is either going to win out or they're going to all lose. No in between. Do not be that only team that loses this week. Keep pace and get the win. And that's all I got to say for this video. That's my preview. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is Steel Sermon checking on out for the night. May God be with you all.